Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Thank you for joining me today. This is Inflewence, and I have FT-46 Tesla 2.0. Their makeup figure for the blunder that was Tesla 1.0. Now, I never had 1.0. Oh, let me put the skirt down. Never had 1.0. I don't know what the mishaps were. I know there were widespread breakages and other things that people didn't like about it that kind of blemished the figure. And it's well known that that figure wasn't the greatest figure. I know a lot of people that's satisfied with that figure, but again, Fans Toys does this ever so often where they hear the rumblings. They definitely listen. They definitely looking at the community, you know, because they're in direct competition with X-Transbots on this figure and some of their other figures. They definitely listened to the community and they heard the rumblings, so they put this out. It's just like with their sea spray, and I think they did a few other ones that they put out again. I'm not sure because I don't think I was collecting Fans Toys at that time. I didn't know the greatness of Fans Toys. Yeah, I threw that out for the trolls, you know, the Fans Toys haters. Anyway, let's get off the 360. We can just take a look. Reds, blue, light blue, kind of. We'll get into it in a minute. My initial thoughts on the figure. I love it. And I promise I'm not gonna make this, I'm not gonna mention X-Transbots 50 million times, but I will mention it a few times because they are in direct competition. Came out almost at the same time. X-Transbots was first. If y'all saw my review on that, you know how I feel about it. Wasn't the greatest figure, wasn't terrible, had a lot of good with their figure, and had a few bad things that left bad taste in my mouth, which I will be selling that figure. If any of my viewership is interested, not that this is a sales YouTube, but you know, I like to offer it to you first. Anyhow, so Fans Toys comes out, and of course, you know, they're in direct competition because of this accessories. Let me get through my initial thoughts first. My initial thoughts, I love it. It's heavy. It's a brick, of course. But it's not just a brick. It's not just die cast. It's die cast in the right spots. It's die cast all over, but they're in the right spots, in the feet, in the legs, up here, in the chest. It feels hefty, but it's not overly heavy. It can definitely stand up, not falling over his guns. The paint is great. I will say this blue, I kind of, and initially, one transformation and I got some scrape on that peg, and you'll see why. So maybe be careful if you transform your figures. If not, don't have to worry, because right out the box he's in robot form. There's a little blemishes here too, and you'll see why. You could probably be very careful and not get those. I don't think I was being as careful as I should be. You know, it's a painted figure. It's painted wonderfully. The red, again, what I was saying before I lost my train of thought. The red is a deeper, darker red, which I know some people may not like that. They may want a brighter red. And in that case, X-Transbots would mark the spot. I definitely think X-Transbots looks, they have a lot of things going for it in the looks department versus this. Not that this is bad in the looks department. I just think X-Transbots kind of nailed the look, but at the same time, it's the design of the character. And they both nailed the design. I just like this build better. It's worth $100 more to you. That's up to you. Like that's strictly your, you know, your, to me it is. I understand that it's not for a lot of people. So that's just what it is. It's just in case you want to see 34. Blue color does it did take me aback at first I don't know if that's the right word. I was taken aback. I don't know if that's the right word. That's kind of a strong word. It just, I knew, I saw pictures and I knew that it was a lighter blue. I don't know if it's correct or not. It may be correct, but I just was like, "Ooh, that's a lighter blue." And I think after handling X-Transbots, who does have the darker blue, so I can say color-wise, if depending on what you like, and on the book and the pictures, these are renders anyway, but it's a lot more red than this. This is more, next to it, you can tell it's like more maroon. By itself, it doesn't bother me at all. I like the deeper, darker red, especially because of the paint. The paint is lovely, of course. And I think that's it for just my initial thoughts. I know I was kind of all over the place, trying to get better with that. I don't really, if you can't tell, I don't script anything because I like to come off my head, and I like to really come from, my heart as far as speaking about this stuff that we collect and love. Like, I just don't want to script anything because it feels fake to me. So let's get into accessories. So you see his guns. He holds his guns well once you get them in hand. He does come with this off in the box, so that's one thing. And you can put it on here. You can take it off during transformation if you want. I leave it on just because I wanted to see if you can transform it with it on, and you can. We have the book. The book is okay. My gripe with the book is it doesn't show when it comes out the box. You have to do a couple things that I will show, and it doesn't show that in here. At least I didn't see it. I mean, I could be wrong. I used Fanstoy's YouTube channel. They actually have a YouTube channel now. I guess they're trying to double dip. They see people doing reviews and stuff. I don't know if they do reviews. In the unboxing I watched, it just unboxed it and showed you what you had to do to get it ready. And that's what I use since it's the company. You get the card, tech specs. Fine. I'm not into cards, but you get it. You may be into cards. You get the, great. It's painted, so be careful dropping it on the floor and having it roll around on a hard floor like I just did. You can see it better. So yeah, it's painted. It's all painted. It's the toy gun. It doesn't fire, but this is well painted with the same paint and like black fleck. So that's nice. You get this gun here, which is his regular gun. And I do like that you can fold this down and he gets the tripod and pull this out. Be careful because it is painted. So you pull that out and it becomes a sniper rifle or a longer rifle. Don't really look like a sniper rifle. It looks like a gun with a long barrel with a tripod. But so yeah, you get that. It's all painted one color, just that red. And it's nice. It reminds me of the old gun. Like I said, be careful because it is painted and you may scratch this up. But you just put that back in and you can put these feet back up. And then that's where you get that. Then you get this, which is his chest plate. You can change out. I will show that in a little bit. And you get all of these heads. You actually get heads, which I do like. You get two different faces. These faces, you actually have to unscrew the head. I believe that's on there, but you may be able, I think you can put them on any head, maybe. I don't know why you would want to, because they have different faces, but the one that comes on it, you can unscrew it to replace these heads. Really nice paint on the eyes, as usual. See the faces like that white, that pearlescent white. He has the little gray beard. So then you have the heads. You have I believe the IDW head, the comic book head with his scope, where he's just looking. I think this is really nice. This is a really nice head. Just getting into the comics. If you've seen my reviews on the books, and you get two of those heads. One, I don't know what that is. One is him with his mouth open, one is regular, like stoic. And they're basically the same head. It's the same, you know, the same figure, lore. You get a toy head, which I love, and I may put this on him. I'm not sure. I don't know if it'll fit for my shelf, but I do like the way this looks, and I think this is great that they gave a toy head. You get this, which is another IDW head, I believe, but he's like, I don't know what that is. That looks crazy. It looked like he stubbed his toe on the bed. You get these, which are just the cartoon heads, but they're different. I thought they were different helmets. Maybe they're a little subtle. No, I don't know. They don't look too different as far as the helmets go. And to take his head off, you just, oh man, you pull that out, and then you just slide this in. It's just a little peg here, and there's a peg that goes into the back of the head, and it holds on. It's pretty tight. It's not bad. Then you have that. Actually might leave this on. Yeah, so here's the head. It's just plain. Looks the same as the other ones, the other cartoon versions, just different expressions. I don't know why. I mean, maybe because it's last minute, they gave you 2 extra faces, and then they gave you actual heads. Like, I'm not sure why that is. And when it comes, you may have to pull these arms down. I did not have to pull the arms down. My arms were down. These were up though, like this. And you just want to move these out. Again, I don't know why Fans Toys seems to be one of the few companies that do that. I think it's space saving in the box maybe, but their boxes seem to be, if they made more they had less styrofoam. I don't know. I don't know why they do that, but they always come mistransformed. And then you pull this up, and this thing right here comes up. And actually, I'm okay with it up, because when I first put it out the box, that's how it looks, with no piece right here. But it does impede. When the piece is there, it impedes the waist joint. But you're supposed to pull it out and get that piece. This is easy to pull out, but tricky. You just gotta, it's on the double hinge. You can see the way it moves. And how to get this out is actually has a tab there. Their tolerances are actually good for the most part. There's a few really tight parts, but then, yeah, there you go. Get that out, put it down. And then this is really tight, which is a tight tolerance. You can pull this up again. I'm going to use this for the sake of time. Like I said, their tolerances are tight, but they're well toleranced, I believe, for the most part. So what I'm doing now is trying to get this out. So you can get this out. The clear, you see the clear chest has the detail inside. So if you want that, you're gonna have to leave this clear on. But if you want the red chest, you can just poke these. There's 4, one right there. Can you see that? One right there, one right there, one right there, and one right there. Just go around and poke those out. It's not that hard. I'm just using this for sake of time and my fingers. I've been transforming, just a side note, I've been transforming that gun, that sniper rifle thing, and I swear it cut me like 4 times. I'm cut all over the place. Probably has blood on it. TMI. Hopefully to review it, I can clean it. But that's another story. But yeah, you get this out. Then you can really see in there, they paint it in there, which is really nice with the details. And I kind of like the details. I actually like it without this and without putting the other one on. If these holes were covered, because I like it red right here, but I like these details. I mean, I guess you can't have everything. So put this on. I'm gonna leave this on for the duration of the review. I won't keep taking it on and off, but I do like this. Another thing, their styrofoam leaves a bunch of stuff, and sometimes I think it's paint scrapage and it's just like little white pieces of styrofoam. So if you see that, I will explicitly show where my paint is. And this is pretty plain, but once I put the symbol there, it'll be fine. But I think I like the plain red chest. And I actually wanted to show the toy head on here. You know, these accessories are getting out of hand as far as the length. And there he goes. Box is considered an accessory, so we can go there. Just, you know, the 3 modes. He does have the tank mode. The original triple changer. Shows a couple things here, what you can do. Him laying down, sniping, helping people. His articulation. He does have a good articulation. They've been slacking in the articulation department. I think it's just been with mini bots, really. And the mini bots have been coming out a lot. So that's just what people realize. Like they've been slacking with the articulation. And I realize that too. Like I said, I'm not you know, nobody's upon reproach. This is my favorite company. There's no denying that. But again, like I said, nobody's perfect. First, I'll compare Jensen, and they actually feel similar. Jensen might weigh more. His chest is his body is a little thicker. But again, his feet are loose, and unfortunately, I can't get him to stand as well as I would like. And it's a pin, so you can't unscrew it. I mean, you can get him to stand and he stays, but again, so there's the comparison. You definitely see the different colors. This is a darker, more metallic blue. This is lighter, more matte blue. His red is more like a red. It's red, while this is like more like maroon, kind of. It's not maroon, it's still a red. In hand, you see it's like a bright red or deep dark red, not a bright red. This is more like a bright red, but it's like a blood red kind of. And this is, I don't know, like I said, it's closer to maroon, but it's not maroon. You can tell it's not like burgundy. But yeah, there's that. And I'm definitely going to compare these two figures soon. I don't know when. Then we got Prime. Show him next to Prime. I need a new Prime. I think I'm gonna get a TE Prime. See the size comparison. I think that fits well. I think that's really it. Not too many other comparisons. We'll move into articulation. So you got this. You can get that all the way up. You can get it up like this. You can get it down forward a little bit. You can get this up to show his head. His head is on like a hinge, so you get to spin all the way around. You don't get side to side too much. You get up that much, you get down that much. So not a great deal, but still not too bad. Shoulders can get up. You can get these out the way to get him more range if you need it. Again, I showed over here. It kind of hits this right here, but it's not terrible. As I say, these tolerances, it's like little pieces like this. His hands are super tight. You may have to unscrew the screw, and I'll show that in a minute. But yeah, this is tight. So there's like little things like this that's hard to get in between because they're so like tightly squeezed on. They're not really tight, but they're just on. You see how loose it is. It just goes on well. So then you get this up like this. I don't know if you can really use that in there. So you get shoulders like that. Put these back over. His arms, again, got the bicep swivel. If you can't get the bicep swivel, that means your arm is up too far. And it may look like it's all the way out and you're not getting the bicep swivel because it's got to be all the way out to get the bicep swivel. So then you get the double. Is it double? Thought it was double. It kind of looks double, but the way they painted the joint, I like the way they did that. It's not, but you do get more than 90 degrees. It's about as good as double almost. Hands spin around, they're on a mushroom peg. They don't move in and or out. These hands are super, that screw right there you may want to unloosen, because these hands, when they flip in, are terrible. They are hard to get out. So you have individual fingers as they do. One knuckle here, one knuckle here on each finger. They're all the same length. No, they're different lengths. Yeah, they're a little different lengths. They go like down. And you have a thumb with two knuckles. Well, no, the ball joint. You have a thumb with the ball joint and an actual hinge joint. So it's kind of like two knuckles. You can get movement. Then you get the waist. Again, you got to have this thing out of here, the tab that goes down, to fill in that little spot, which I don't care for. I mean, it looks fine either way to me. Let me put it that way. It's not that I don't care for it, but. And you get the waist swivel all the way around. You also get an ab crunch. It's not a big one. I don't know if it can go any more. Maybe if you move this up a little like this, you can get, yeah, you move that up a little, you can get a full ab crunch. And I guess you can get it for pictures, like make it look like it's moved up like that. But yeah, you get that full ab crunch there, as long as that's out the way. Put that back. You got individual skirts. Did I show his arms? His arms go all the way around. Of course, I think by now that's like a given. If an arm doesn't go all the way around, it's a really bad figure, articulation wise. But you get individual skirts in the front, and on the sides in the back it's one skirt, which isn't bad. I think people would prefer it in the back than in the front. You get all the way to the side, of course, because of his transformation. You get all the way up. You gotta get it out a little bit. You get all the way back. So he does the splits and the hurdles with no problem. Sign him up for the Summer Olympics. He has double jointed knees that get you almost the full, might as well say full. I mean, I don't know what else you would want. He has a swivel. I think you saw that. I showed it kind of. He has the splits here. They're not bad, but they do. You know, I can't leave it because XTB had me. I had a problem with XTBs where it would split all the time. And this is the same kind of. They have a joint here, a clip, I should say, that kind of keeps it together. So it's not as bad, but you can still get it when you're maneuvering it. It still goes like that. So that kind of, I can see it. Again, it's not crazy and it doesn't happen all that often, but it can happen like while you're manipulating, especially if you're holding one leg. See how that is because of the heft. So we'll see over time. Hopefully that doesn't get any worse. It shouldn't because of this clip. It's just the way it's made. It just has enough room. I do like the knees. The knees are, of course, metal hardware. I don't like, and both XTB and this one does the same thing. Like the knees go all the way, and I guess maybe it's just the nature of what it has to do. But I think like there's a ratchet in the knees, and the first ratchet is there. So the first ratchet is a knee, and you can move it up and get it like this. I guess, yeah, I guess you can get it like this. It's not really a complaint. But you just gotta fool with the knees and get it right where you want it in order for it to look right to me. That's subjective. Oh, and another thing you gotta do when you first get it is move these out. And I have it how it's supposed to be. It's more clean, but I don't like this peg sticking out. So I'll move it around. I kind of like it like this, but this is how it comes for no apparent reason. I don't know why they would have this like this. Maybe to protect the inside paint, the robot paint. I don't know, but yeah, in any way, that's what it is. And this part right here is kind of flimsy. I don't know what kind of hardware that is. That plastic doesn't feel terrible, like it doesn't feel bad, but who knows? It could cause an issue if you're just moving it by that. So then let's get to the feet. We got rocker out there like that. We got toe tilt or toe down. Nothing really up. You can move the foot about that much up, and you got this heel spur that is like that sometimes. So you just want to make sure you move it out. It's pretty good. And I think that's it for articulation. Lucky this guy isn't too bad to transform. He isn't terrible. So let's get into transformation now. Move these up like this. Get these black pieces just moved around. I just leave them like this. Move this out. Oh, these don't move either. I tried to move them unless they're just tight. Oh, they do move. Sorry. They're just tight. I just saw a screw in there, so I said, oh, they probably do move. So yeah, you can move them. It's just super tight. You can also move this, but I'll show that. But yeah, scrunch these fingers up, both sides. Turn them around. And this one just came off the mushroom peg. That's the first time. But it's just a mushroom peg, so just get it back on. Again, it's tight going this way. So I don't think this side, I think this is the side that I think I unscrewed over here. Yeah, this is the side that I did. You see how easy that was? It's just a screw right here, so I'm just gonna do it now. Just a little turn. Doesn't even need to be a lot. It's still a little tight, but going back, maybe I'll see if I can get it out, and if not, I'll unscrew some more. Then you want to get this together. Pull this up here. So you can move this out. Then you want to pull this out. This is like, you kind of want to pull this up and out, kind of like that, in order to get this out like that. It's just easier because there's a little tab. That tab right there is like in there. So you just want to like pull it up and around it. Over here is a little harder because you got this to contend with. But I just wanted to show it. You want to pull this out here. Make that like that. Move this down. This will come off while you're maneuvering it. Like I said, I try to keep it on there to show that you can transform it while it's on there, but I'm gonna take it off for now to move this down, and then I'll put it back on now. So yeah, you move that down, and then you move this over here like this, so the head is upside down. You can move this up here and move this out the way just to get it out the way. Now here is tricky because you want to pull this out. I couldn't tell in the directions, but this is like a double. This is really tight. You may benefit from loosening those screws. I don't know. I did not, because the second time, I know it's always, this is like the third time, so it's still tight. But you kind of bend, you want this to bend up and this to come down straight. So it's like a double hinge, and it's really hard. There we go. You see how that bent? That's how you want it. And then you're able to put this down here and it wraps around these and then pegs in right there. There's a peg right there. And it's just easier to do that right now. And then you can move this up a little bit. You can still get this where you need it to get out the way of all this. Then you have this here. You want to move these down, both sides. Only this side has a flap that comes out and tabs in right there. Tab it in because then that tab is going to tab up here. Same thing over here. This moves out kind of. You get it kind of like that, but it doesn't have a tab. This tabs in over here. Then you move that in like that, and then move this up. And move this in there. And this tabs in all, you know, back where it kind of originally did. And it tabs this in too. So this has to be down first. Well, it doesn't have to be down first, but it's just easier to get in if it is. Get that together. And you can still move this because you're going to need to get it kind of out the way in order to get these legs. And now this just pulls down and it tabs. There's a tab there and tab hole. Just tabs there as you can get it. There we go. Just like that. So then I'll lift up these flaps because it's just easier to deal with these legs. These flaps are lifted up. Because then you want to move this like this. Move this like this. Move it up. Move it up. This right here, there's that peg, those pegs. It's kind of easier to do one leg at a time. I'm just doing two. And then you want to try to move this out. This goes out like that. Move this panel. There's a panel here that's tabbed into the leg there. Move that out. Move this panel out as well. You can move this out and down first. So move that out, put it around like that and just leave it like that for now. Then you move this out. Now with these two panels out, then this leg swings freely. Now this is where you want to be careful because this is where I messed up my thighs a little right there. But what you're going to do is swing this back. Now you may want to put this into that right there, but it doesn't go. It goes right here. And then this pegs on right there. I was trying to put it in here. That is used in there for tank mode, but we'll get to that. So when you move it over, you want to get it where you can see where this goes into there. And that's probably where it, because it goes in pretty tight. So and like I said, there's two pegs. There's a peg right in here that pegs in, and then that clips around the leg. And it's pretty tight once you get it where it's supposed to be. Then you can move this like this and up here. Make sure that you can move this back and just peg that right there. And see, this came out. It doesn't usually come out, but that means it's actually tight. So I'm gonna try to get this back around. When this is back around where it should be, this peg should peg into there and hold it in place. Now this you can move down. You can do it whenever, but you can do it now. Then you want to move this up to kind of reveal the wheels under here. Then this goes down and you're done that side. So over here again, let me try to show it again. So one leg at a time, just flip that down, pull this up. I'm gonna go a little faster, but I'm gonna show it better. So flip that over there and pull this out, flip that down if you want to, then pull this out here, and then as long as that clips out, you can just separate the leg like that and then push this up here. Again, this peg doesn't go into that hole, it goes above that hole, and there's another peg that goes into that hole for this mode. So once you can kind of get it now because it's kind of easier. You just flip it around like this and then get this into that hole. You kind of see it better. Yeah, this one was significantly harder to get in than this one. Maybe due to the paint. This side paint ain't scraped off. So that could be where it's getting scraped off. Then you want to push this in here. Then you can move this back just to get it clean. Move this around like this. Up here. And then push that down. And you get the final touches. Move this down here like that. And then, okay, final touches. Then you want to pull this wheel out. Like this. And now this should, if this isn't moved down all the way, you just want to get it down all the way, then adjust your microscope to where you need it. There we go. Sometimes it's not all the way down, but you can just, you can just push it all the way down. And it's Perceptor, looks like Perceptor. It's a microscope. Not much you can do. This doesn't really show. You can look in it and it looks like glass, but then you can move this in and out. It goes down. It does start to make this noise. I don't know if you can hear it. When you move it all the way down where you don't need to. You just put it up. And that's it. Again, you can move these. They don't do anything, but they can move. You can also, if you want, store the weapons. I don't know why, but you may want to. And there you go. That's more for tank mode, but we'll get there. Yeah, not much to say about this mode. Looks like Perceptor. Underneath, you got these wheels that don't really roll. They don't really, well, they do roll. These roll. They're plastic though. Then you have this one back here. Close that a little bit better. So now let's get it into tank mode, which isn't hard at all. First, you want to kind of pull that out so you can pull this up, move these around, pull this back down, and then you just put it back where it was. Again, over here, kind of pull that out, pull this up, move this around, put it back down, and it just goes right there. So that's it for that. You're gonna have to get this cover up so you actually can kind of like pull these out. They do get hard. There we go. Just get this flap out of here. It's used for tank mode. Then you flip this around here like this. flip that on there. Then you can put this back down here like this. Make sure all this is back in as it should be. And that's pretty much it for the arms. Now for the legs, move this out here, because you're gonna want to move this up too. Don't forget that, the treads. You're gonna wanna move this around here like this, like the normal legs. Pull this out. So just get the legs back to normal that way. Then you want the treads out on this side. So we pull the treads out, flip it around, put them down, snap them in. Now this is where this goes into this hole instead of into that leg. A little more length. Hopefully you can move this down a little bit in order to move this around. Then it's gonna go up here, and you have a peg here, peg hole here that this fits into, and that peg fits into there. I think there's another peg, yeah, the peg, I guess this one just goes into there, and the one goes into there, and this one goes into there. So just do that. So you had the leg all the way up, and then just line them up. Flip this back over here to cover up that area. That's pretty much it. Come over here, flip this up. Move that out. Move this down here. You can see it better where you put that. You may be better off putting it in ahead of time. You just move this around here. Make sure you have it right. There like that, so you can get this up here, and of course those pegs go into there, and you gotta have this just right where it's supposed to be in order to get that peg in. There we go. What was happening is you gotta make sure this waist is straight. Like it was a little off axis, and that's what happens. It takes forever. You just move this over here like this. This. Almost finished. Now you gotta do the feet. The feet are probably the most involved to me part. try to move this out. It's like a friction peg right there that you want to get this out of. And then once you get that out, you can just move this out anyway, because then you want to get this out. Move that peg out, and then you move this back, and that peg pegs into there. So you know you have it where you're supposed to. Then once you peg that peg into there, then you can move this around to get the feet. And then this like pegs into the feet like that. Again, over here, move the feet a little bit. And then you got this friction peg that you gotta get around. Move this out. This is tight right here. Move this in here like this. Always takes forever when you're on camera versus when you're just sitting it on your lap and doing it. You move that down. Last but not least, you make sure all this stuff is right. Up here like this. And then this goes, there's a little peg there that pegs into there. You don't really need to do that, but I mean, everything has a place, right? So I'll do it. I don't even know if that fits there like it should. Yeah, it should. There we go. Snaps on. And then you just get this wheel. I believe you put it down a little bit, like up against this. And there you go with the tank mode. Just throwaway mode anyway. And you have these pegs on here that fit there. You can put it on either side. Don't matter. I just grabbed it. Put it wherever. I don't like it like this because the handles are out. I don't think you can do it anyway because of the scope. They were fitting before. Let me see. It might be two different sides. Oh, okay. This must have came out because the peg was bigger. And there you go. Tank mode. Got the treads, not real treads, of course. Wheel back here to help it. I mean, it's what it is. It looks like what it was. Always was just I guess something they threw in there. It was Diaclone or Micro Change. I don't know which one it was, but I think Micro Change because I think they were the ones that were just objects, and Diaclone was the vehicles. I don't know. I don't know the history, all of the history, but this was just a mode, I think, so the little men could drive it because they can't drive Microscope. So let's go back now to robot, which is easier from here. Get out of here. So, well, that's easy. You can do that first. That's probably the easiest to do the legs. Just get them together so they're not flopping all over the place. Then move them down because you're already in the stance that you need to be in. Move these down, move this up. Make sure the peg is tight and move them down. Then you got this. Then you're supposed to move these tank treads around. I like it like this, so I'm keeping it like this. Move these feet up out of here. Pull these off of there, flip this back. Then this double hinge, you want this piece up in there. This can get tight. It's not as bad the second time, third time, however time. Move that up in there like that, and you got the feet done. Again over here, move that down. Move this up. This one's really not tight at all. Not loose, but not tight. Probably perfect tolerance. Oh, make sure you get this. Sometimes it does automatically, but make sure you get that joint up in there. See this one? Yeah, this one didn't go, so try to get it. Move it like this. Get that like that. Legs are finished. Put this up here like this. Keep that there. Unhook these out and down. I can say one thing, this came off for the first time. Like it's just pegged in there and it's not tight. If it wasn't, that's why the gun didn't fit here, because it wasn't all the way in. Gotta be all the way in, and then that peg is the size. So that was weird. Make sure you get this peg off. I'm just trying to force it. Once that peg gets out of there, it's fine, and like it goes out easy. Flip this down like this, and then push this over. It shows like pushing this down. Push this over to make this kind of flat. Square it off. Here you push this down. It's these two things that catch into there. So then you know you're good. Then you just move this around. Put this up here like this. Be careful. This doesn't feel like it's gonna break, but it, you know, it could if you. This is really tight, so when you're maneuvering it, could get tricky. And then you want to peg that into the side right here. Once you do that, you kind of know where it needs to go, like this. And first, you want to accordion this up again, which is super hard. And what I do is try to hold it and push it down right here. Watch the arms. And you see how I am putting a little force on it. There we go. Then you can make this down here. Unpeg. This is pegged in through the tank. Put it kind of like that, so you get that down there like this. I thought it pegged in, but it doesn't, I don't think. Just kind of rests there. This down here like this. This up. Together. Make sure it's in the right spot. It's up and not down here somewhere. Push this, it holds everything together tight. You can move this down. Again, you can pull this out if you want to flip this piece, and I'll do it just now, just because. Flip that piece out. Now just for the arms. Pull it out, flip it around. Get these hands out. Again, they're really tight. Too tight. loosen that screw a little. I don't want them too loose, but you won't be able to get them out too. Yeah, so that's super hard. Again, I even loosened it up. I didn't loosen it up a lot. I could probably loosen it up more. Take it out, move it around. Let's see how this one goes. Put that out, move that around. All right, try to pull this out first. This one's a lot looser. Maybe I'll loosen this up more. I need to do that. Move this around and already. Back to robot mode. So this is Fans Toys FT-46 Tesla 2.0, their second version of a Masterpiece Perceptor. And it's been Inflewence, so do everything you need to do for YouTube algorithm, you know, help me out, and I appreciate it. And I will get up with you in another video. Again, I will be doing a comparison with Jensen later on, maybe this week, maybe next week, I don't know.
Ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over, life ain't over. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.